Folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets. Folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Hello? Testing, testing. Who's in the building? Let me just double check that the audio's working. Yes, Ben, the legend. Smashing it. Okay, fantastic. Audio's working. Cool. Audio good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to live streams and TRADINGNUT. You know, the soft one and everything. Just a little bit rusty with everything. I've taken a whole month off. I'm just getting back into the routine. So let's get straight into it. Fantastic. Let me share my screen. And hold on. Where are we at? Oh, can't show that. Wrong chart. Hold on. Let me go on DXY. This is fantastic. Bada boom, bada bush. And then, okay, there we go. So yeah, definitely a little bit rusty. But what I shall be doing is moving this over here. There we go. And then that should work. Okay. Yep. Can you guys see the screen? I'm looking at the dollar. Okay, gonna get straight into it. So, as you know, I'm Diego from Bank Level Trading and Bank Level Trading Accelerated. I'm going to be covering today's technicals, just a brief live stream on what I'm expecting. So with this strategy, it's a very, very unique SMC strategy. So obviously, if you're an ICT trader, if you're an SMC trader, if you're profitable, then this will still help you become even more profitable. If you're not profitable, then this is going to help you a lot when it comes to filtering out the high probability order blocks for value gaps. So just consider it's a strategy that uses Elliott waves and a pattern refinement technique to filter out low probability order blocks, fair value gaps, etc. But we also draw them very differently. The way we identify the levels is very, very different. So if you're an ICT trader or an SMC trader, I highly recommend you take notes, because a lot of the traders that do trade ICT, this was basically the missing blueprint that they were missing out on. Right? You can probably ask some of the BLT traders in the community as to why I say that, right? So this will help you a lot. So it's very, very different towards what you see online. I mean, most of SMC traders, they're all identical. Some are successful because they've put in the work. Some are successful because they've been there for time studying ICT or SMC. And then you've got, well, obviously the other traders that are not successful yet because it's very hard, it's very complex, right? When it comes to SMC and ICT, it's even for me, I've watched a few videos and it's just too much. There's a lot of information. So I basically took one or two little snippets from ICT. I took it from my cousin Rodrigo, actually, because he done ICT. I took the fair value gap, the order block, and I changed it around and basically tailored it to the way I look at the markets, and the way I draw the levels is a little bit different. But I specialize on patterns, since patterns is my background. I've been trading patterns since 2013, 2014, right? With a combination of Elliott waves and certain techniques, you can basically filter out low probability SMC levels by looking at pattern fake outs. Is what we call the boomerang, right? With the boomerang, very, very simple setup, right? As you can see that is a boomerang shape. You know, the Australian weapon that you throw at the piece of meat that you want to eat. It's a boomerang. So why do I call it a boomerang? It's because of the shape of the pattern, the shape of the fake out. Like right here is your little boomerang on the daily on the DXY, right? If we look at this, if we go to the H4, this is all I'm referring to is this. Look, just make sure that the setup, it's, you know, you need to have a perfectionist mindset when it comes to drawing your trend lines, right? Like literally have a, you know, surgical precision, right? If you're a surgeon or a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon, you have to be on point with everything. It's the same with your trend lines. If you do your trend lines wrong, it will affect your setup. So this is what I mean by the boomerang right here, right? You've got momentum to the outside. It's enticing traders to go short at the moment. So some traders will be selling it, right? Whereas we're waiting for that boomerang shape, the fake out of the pattern to close back inside, right? This is a trademark of the BOT, bank level trading, right? And we just look for a fake out, right? Encourage traders to go short. There is your fake out, okay? So that would have been a pretty decent entry. Now, what we're doing as well with the BOT is we're taking the, you know, the banker blocks is what I call it, which is it's a combination of an accumulation of candlesticks, right? Obviously with the order block, what's it called? The order block here, the OB, is normally one counter candle before the drop. I also use that, but I prefer a range as I find them higher probability because of my personal strategy, right? So look, here's potential order block there or something. Let me see. Let me just see something clearer. Everything's been filled. Probably have to go on the lower time frame. And what you need to do is, obviously on the lower time frame, we've gone at the H1. You're going to find a bunch of setups regardless, right? But and myself and the team, we don't like taking every single order block or banker block, right? Because we need to wait for a pattern. So the pattern, which is basically this over here, you know, you have to update it depending on the other confluences. The pattern is basically this, and we're looking for a point of interest outside of the pattern, right? So when price action is obviously approximately here, we're looking for a point of interest here, right? Then you need to redefine the entry, etc., and investigate how to pinpoint that point of interest. And look, this is pretty ideal. A stop on of this high over here. Obviously, you'll have to redefine the entry, go on the M15, M5, etc. Right? Look at this banker block or an order block, whichever suits your boat, right? Just draw it in. redefine the entry, and this would be what we'll be looking at, right? Pretty decent. Let's see. And there is your banker block. But the reason this would have been a pretty decent banker block, it's not just because it's outside of the pattern, but we're also looking at the pattern approaching that entry. And look, so we're having a bit of a double boomerang, right? You see that? A boomerang of the large pattern. And we do need to wait for a second pattern. It's always going to improve the probability. So remember, this is basically all a third tap manipulation, right? Third tap from the large pattern, and then you've got the fake out of that entry over there. Vice versa, when you redefine it, you've got one tap, two tap, and you've got a boomerang, right? So that is what we are trading. That move alone, you know, you can easily hit probably, yeah, around 5R on the way down, because you're redefining it on the 1 minute time frame, etc. So you're still using the other concepts, and then you can look for retests, entries, and continuation, etc. So that's essentially what the BLT is. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. That is just an intro to bank level trading. Bank level trading accelerated is just a little bit different. That is just a little bit more advanced and more mechanical rules with a higher win rate, higher risk reward. That's all it is. Okay. So in terms of what I'm expecting on the dollar, in terms of an actual analysis, let's go to the live markets. Is this the live markets? Yes, it is. Okay, Monday. Okay, so this to me at the moment, it looks like, well, I'm gonna have to update the setup. It just looks like it's dropping, but we do have some points of interest here. You know, we have it's what I call a imbalance in price. Some of you guys will call it a fair value gap. If, for example, we're looking for a buy here, I'm not going to take a buy, even if there's a valid imbalance, even if it breaks structure. Look, broke structure. For me, it does not really matter. Even if you see some equal lows, right? Right, nice little double bottom manipulation. I'm still not going to be looking for a buy. So this is how you filter out trades. And the reason I'm not looking at buys is because I still need to look for a pattern. So if I do see a pattern, such as something like this, right, and a boomerang, then this will be valid. This will be a valid imbalance. If there is no pattern, there is no imbalance. And you basically just wait for this setup when is in confluence with either the imbalance, there's a banker block, there's another imbalance. All these points of interest, they are all going to be automatically cancelled and re-updated until it coincides with the boomerang setup. This is how we filter out low probability SMT levels instead of trying to take every single one, and it just becomes a mess for your psychology. That's what I'm expecting on the dollar. Expecting a potential little buy coming up. There was decent shorts. Obviously, CPI tomorrow, basically. So my game plan would be, really depends on price action. We may get a little manipulation here and then a drop, grab some liquidity, or it could completely reverse to the upside and then a drop, right? So either way, depends on the pattern, right? At the moment, you know, we do have to take this into consideration that yes, there is in fact a current boomerang playing out 1, 2, and a short. So it might pull back temporarily for a drop. That's what I'm expecting. Obviously, long term, yes, I'm expecting this to plummet. But in terms of day trading, there's opportunities for buys and shorts, or for shorts, and you know, there's multiple opportunities. So that's what I'm expecting on the DXY. Anything else? That's essentially it. I mean, you know, if we do zoom out onto a larger sort of perspective, you know, this could be the start of a bit of a larger move up. As you can see, there has been a reversal, but for now, I personally don't like looking at the larger time frames. I'm interested in just that first move, because every single day, this strategy, the bias will change every single day. London and New York, and Asia as well, right? And you're taking buys and shorts, regardless of the overall trend, right? So it really kind of just depends on the rules and the confluences that you have. So for now, it's basically just stay away. Okay, fine. We do have some equal lows. They do not need to get hit just because there's equal lows. This could easily just drop to the downside, and then eventually it might come up, or it might, CPI might just trigger it in. At the moment, I don't have a bias yet. My main bias is going to come tomorrow. Now, my best trading days, funnily enough, it's normally in CPI week, because I do trade CPI with a CPI strategy that I have. It's a buy and a sell sort of strategy. And it's normally the day before CPI. There's always a good setup. Like my win rate's well above 89%, but specifically for the CPI week, which is pretty consistent. So I can't wait to do a live stream tomorrow morning for the BOT Accelerate members and do my full analysis, because there is a game plan that I'm following. But this is just my current perspective. And from what I can see, there's nothing really clear. I can't see any new patterns, to be fair. Okay, maybe there's something here. There's a little bit of a potential little boomerang, but I believe the pattern is not complete and it's not ready yet. So everything's kind of pointing for a long. It's what I'm expecting. Pranal, what would you do on gold today? Me personally, I'm not going to trade today. All right. So what would I do on gold? Gold is a bit of firstly, right, we can't ignore the fact there's some equal highs, etc. And what else do we have? Yeah, it's kind of just accumulating, to be fair. It's not really, it is reversing from this trend line. There we go. So we are in a bit of a bullish trend for now. And with the dollar, we are expecting this to potentially drop, which will make sense for gold to go long. At the moment, there is some daily imbalances here. I'm going to update the imbalance because this is a new low. There we go. So this is a good point of interest to get involved on the long. And I believe there's a current sort of descending pattern. So there's your sort of bullish setup right here. Very, very sharp and clean wedge. The only thing with this wedge is that the point of interest, right? You see the imbalance is inside of the pattern, right? It's inside of the pattern. So it automatically is going to be invalid. This is how we filter out low probability fair value gaps and order blocks. We're using patterns, right? So instead of using this one, I would preferably use most likely this little cheeky imbalance below there as one of the plans. So this is looking more of a ideal setup right here. And we have a bank level. Hold on. See that bank level here? Right there. Nice little bank level. So we've got a bank level and we've got an imbalance. It's outside of the pattern, which is fantastic. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to get both levels, the bank level and the 50%, combine both of them to form a multi-liquidity pool, right? This is now my new point of interest. Now with this multi-liquidity pool, you can then average it out and form a new imbalance. See that? So this is the imbalance that I'll be looking at for an entry, right? So I'm expecting this to basically drop and pinpoint reverse from here. Now, this is not concrete because price action could easily, it might climb up, it might drop. And let's just say there's a pattern here now and you're expecting a boomerang. That means there may be a new plan A. This might be plan B. This is all going to change depending on the pattern. The pattern is what takes precedence. But for now, it's a good game plan, right? I'm always updating the entries, the levels. I'm always updating the patterns, etc. So it doesn't mean just because I've drew it, it has to go there. There's a high probability, but it's going to change. But at the moment, it stands valid, but it could easily become invalidated. And I'll give you a better explanation. Let's just say we have something like, I don't know. Okay, this is perfect. Let's say it starts to reverse from here, and then this happens. And there's a new pattern, right? So if we were to basically take this redefined point of interest, the multi-liquidity pool, and basically drag it here, let's actually say this is a little bit to the downside, right? Can you see that the imbalance, the new redefined one, right? This multi-liquidity pool, that zone that I did, that zone is inside of the pattern. That means I'll have to delete this and repeat the process until the point of interest is in confluence with a third tap fake out of the reversal pattern. So that's what I'm expecting on gold. I mean, this is the daily time frame. Claudio the drummer. Hi Diego, I'm an STT member, but also thinking about taking your course. Maybe could apply both strategies together. What do you think? Absolutely. There's actually quite a lot of STT traders within the BLT, so you can definitely combine the strategies. That's completely fine. It will improve your selectiveness of STT setups, and then also with the BLT, you can use the STT as another confluence. Like even myself, I don't use the STT, but I'm aware of it because I do understand it, right? And when I see an STT setup, for me personally, it just gives me extra confidence and extra confluence, but I don't use it. I don't use the mechanical rules of the fibs, etc. Even though I 100% understand it, whenever it does come and it's in confluence with the BLT, it just, I guess it improves the win rate. It's just another confluence for me, but it's not like a mandatory thing. But obviously, since you're an STT trader, then yeah, you can find your own way. And does Goldman Sachs trade trend lines? No, I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure there's traders in the trading floor that will use trend lines, right? But they mainly trade, liquidity and order flow. Trend lines, it just works for me, right? Any strategy is profitable. There's obviously a lot of I've been in trading floors before actually, right? And some of the traders, they use moving averages, right? It just depends on how you redefine whatever strategy you do. Any strategy is profitable. There's no holy grail. There's no strategy that doesn't work. Well, actually, there's a lot, but there's no sort of main strategy that just doesn't work. Basically, any strategy can work, from moving averages, from trend lines, from indicators, from just order flow, from Wyckoff, Fibonacci, hexagons and moons, and anything can work. Even bloody astrology strategies work, and I've seen it myself. I've interviewed, six-figure portfolio managers saying that they use astrology for the strategy. Anything can work, right? Put it that way. Okay, so that's gold at the moment, which looks pretty decent. At the moment, it's stuck within this sort of range. Right now, sort of range, which is basically just not tradable. So if you are gonna trade, my recommendation would be to basically just wait for a stop hunt of either side and look for a setup, right? Always look for manipulation. That's what I'll be expecting. And if you are going to get a fake out of the setup, at least target that low, or at least target this high, right? So that's what I'll be expecting on gold. Euro, these are trades given in the BOT Accelerate community. Again, look at the boomerang shape. You've got 1 tap, 2 tap, and you've got that boomerang shape, right? All given in real time towards the BOT Accelerate community, which is basically level 2 of BOT. BOT is BLT is £99. It's practically free, right? So I'll definitely recommend you guys studying it. And it's just a foundation course of the main horizon of the strategy, right? There's still a lot of profitable BLT traders, a lot of funded BLT traders, a lot of them actually. Accelerated just makes your life a lot easier, right? Very simple mechanical rules to follow. So again, perfect little setup, boomerang shape, right? And this was actually, yeah, 4.6, 3.6. So the risk reward is, it kind of varies all the time. I mean, these are not really high probability trades. These are just valid trades, right? And the valid trades are, yeah, 3 to 5R. It's quite consistent when it comes, yeah, 3 to 5R is the consistent area. But when it comes to BLT accelerated or even BLT, if you know how to wait for what particular high probability trade is, when you wait for a high probability trade, you're looking at 10R plus, 6 to 10R. And when you hold that trade with the trade management rule, whilst you're banking profit, so you can psychologically hold a trade because you've banked a lot of the profit at TP1, a lot of the trades go to 10, 15, 20R. Even the other day, one of the one-to-one traders, he hit a 50R or something crazy, you know? But it's all about waiting for a high probability sell. At the moment, this is all, you know, it's very, very choppy, but you're still going to find setups when it's choppy, you know? Guys, got any other questions that you'd like me to cover? So the setup, yeah, it's very, very choppy at the moment. Definitely be iron out this little imbalance here. And we do have a bit of some equal highs. Some equal highs. And we also have a bunch of equal lows as well. Literally, they're kind of everywhere, to be fair. Nice little equal lows there. And equal lows there. In terms of a setup, I would like to see potentially a boomerang off here, of this pattern. And we may have a potential sort of new pattern approximately over here. So nice little boomerang over here and a nice little boomerang over here. So this is the sort of area I'll be expecting for longs, and this is the area I'll be expecting for shorts. So right now, there is no trades for me, right? Even though there's a bunch of imbalances and fair value gaps in the middle, lots of points of interest, but price is in the middle of basically all the patterns. And we're pattern traders when it comes to the BLT, right? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of ICT and SMC traders basically smashing price action now, or maybe they're hitting a stop loss or whatever. I don't know. I don't care, because as a BLT trader, we need to wait for the pattern. At the moment, we have this pattern actually. Look, this looks okay for a long look. 1, 2, and we're looking for potential third tap. And look, okay, equal lows, liquidity pool, imbalance. This could be a good point of interest for a long. And we also have a larger perspective, equal lows as well for a potential short. So nice longs and nice short, but once we are outside of the pattern, we don't trade in the middle. So all these points of interest, SMC levels, we don't trade them. None of them until price is outside of the pattern. Okay, Aussie. Aussie, a lot of momentum on Aussie. A lot of momentum on Aussie. Let me actually hold on. I think we'll just be a good idea to, where is it now? I'm going to share the link to Bank Level Trading Accelerated. There's a new website for CTI Academy. So if anyone's interested in joining the BLT community for literally just £99, you can have access to the community for free, right? So there's no monthly subscriptions. It's literally free do the course. You're in the ecosystem, and you can have access to all the other traders. There's over 200 traders at the moment in BLT. So yeah, nice little community for anyone who's interested. Okay, back to Aussie. Aussie at the moment. Oops, okay. Looks like it's grabbed some liquidity off this bank level, which looks pretty decent. Nice little liquidity grab there. And we may have a potential little boomerang coming up soon. But again, it depends on the rules and everything. And look, we do have a banker block here. And this particular banker block is outside of the pattern, as you can see. 1, 2, boomerang, right? So that's looking okay for a potential long, right? If now, this does not mean you just set the limit order there, right? When you're trading the BLT, because it will probably take you out if you don't know certain confluences. So my recommendation is, if you're trading this, right, at least wait for some confirmation, right? You know, let price go to this point of interest, reverse from it, break a structure, catch the retest, and then go long. That's my recommendation. Or if there's, for example, a lot of momentum, then you need to be careful, because you don't know where that momentum will stop, right? If you have like some compression and another pattern here, then yes, that's going to improve the probability. So definitely wait for some confirmation at least, and when it comes to trading. Now, in terms of a plan B, I don't really know. Unless it comes up here, then I can reevaluate. At the moment, it's kind of struggling to reverse from this particular point of interest. Go on a daily time frame. We are, in fact, practically part of this larger sort of channel that we have here. Right, so we are within the sort of bearish channel at the moment. So again, if you're a swing trader, then you should really be here, and you can be holding it for a while. And so yeah, still early times for now. Nothing clear. Dollar yen. Dollar yen is quite interesting. When you zoom out onto the weekly time frame, you can see the large boomerang that it just completed, right? Lovely boomerang on the weekly, which is practically what was, expected. You can see 1, 2, and the boomerang shape. And now on the weekly time frame, there's a breaker structure here. There's a breaker structure here. So a lot of confirmation for the retest. And now it's basically retesting to continue going short. So dollar looks pretty decent. Dollar yen looks decent for a short, right? This is the kind of confirmation that you need on the lower time frames. If you're trading the M15 pattern, as a day trader, you look for the M15 pattern, and then you look for M1 confirmation, right? When it comes to the weekly time frame, you look for the weekly, as a swing trader, you look for the weekly or the daily large pattern, and then you want to wait for at least a H4 confirmation entry, which practically there was a bunch of them. Look, H4 breaker structure, H4 breaker structure. So you want to retest of at least this H4 banker block, right? And now look, this would have taken you out. So how many traders do you believe, or do you think, would have taken a short there, right? Let's think about it. A lot of swing traders trading SMC will take a trade here, stop loss above that banker block, entry here as a swing trader, and they'll get taken out, right? Which is fine. Sometimes they get it right, but with the BLT, this is invalid. It's invalid because of the larger pattern. As you can see, look, we're not trading that for now. We want to be looking at a point of interest up here somewhere. right? At least outside. You can just see it's probably going to be above that high. So we're still sort of patiently waiting, right? Still patiently waiting. I believe there could be a bit of a plan. There's actually currently a plan A. This is our plan B. So I'm just going to separate the pattern. So look, this banker block, based on what I've been talking about, is invalid because you've got 1, 2, and it's inside of the pattern. So it's invalid. We need to wait for it to come outside. And look, this is where it went outside. So depending on the trend line, you know, this is your plan A trend line. If it continues going up, then at least we've got plan B. So I'm going to separate plan B. Just make sure that the trend line is done correctly. And this is the setups that we want to be taking. So a fake out here, and then it actually would have dropped. But is this even a valid trade? Right? We need to at least look for some form of a pattern, and believe there we go. See that? Nice little confirmation entry. Go to the H1. This would have been valid. As you can see, look. No pattern here. And even if you did try to do a pattern, it will be invalid. Because it's not outside of it. So you see how you can filter out a lot of SMC trades and a lot of ICT setups by just waiting for a pattern. Right? It's very, very simple. And this is the BLT. I love it. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other strategies that can do something similar, right? I'm not taking anything away from it, but I'm just showing you how effective and how powerful this can be. So look, again, if you zoom in now, it ended up completing a little boomerang. You still have to look for the entry, of course. Now, there's still multiple opportunities. I mean, that was just one example. Perhaps there's another one, I don't know. Maybe there's a larger pattern here forming now. See that? So now we have to wait for a reversal up here somewhere. Okay, so from what I can see, it's made a new high, so I'm gonna have to update it to this one now. I have to update this potential new pattern. Or in fact, no, it's not ready yet. Hold on. I'm waiting for price to update and develop further. So nothing yet for now. Nothing yet for now. So we'll just have to basically just wait. That's it. I mean, it's all a waiting game. Dollar CAD, don't know what this is. This is old. Okay, dollar CAD, what do we have? There's a little boomerang, a little fake out. Can't really see it on the daily. Can't really see it on the daily, but it's there. On the H4, it'll be a little bit clearer, or at least the H1. Let's double check it's done correctly. Look, see that? You have to move it to the top end of the wick, and then we update this wick, and there we go. There's our boomerang. See that? Boomerang. And obviously the confirmation is the pattern approaching that boomerang. So even if you separate it, this is your confirmation pattern, and you're still trading a fractional of it. So this is really the setup that you'll be taking. Obviously, when you wait for the confirmation, you look for the point of interest before anything, right? Leading up to it, you probably have multiple points of interest, but let's look at the H1. Anything that we can see here? Nothing really. M15 should normally do the trick. There we go. Okay, so there is this order block, as you can see, and there is also this sort of order block there. Combine both areas, and we may have a new point of interest. There we go. Just combine both areas. That's a point of interest, as you can see. Obviously, when you're doing a swing trade, you don't want to do 2 pips, right? 2 pips is when you're waiting for M1 confirmations. So when you're trading N15, if you're just trading the M15 as a confirmation entry, you want at least 6 pips, so just a little bit more than your day trade, right? So a day trade, from that point of interest, from the new 50%, you would have missed it, right? But when you're doing a swing trade and you just redefined everything, M15 is your confirmation entry instead of the M1, you want to do 6 pips. And this would have been your entry, 6 pips. Oop, yeah, basically 6 pips there and 6 pips on the upside. So as a swing trade, for any swing traders, this is basically your entry. And yeah, you want to target at least the start of the pattern. 5 off for a swing trade, not bad, not bad. Right, this is for swing traders. For day traders now, we will be redefining the entry, right? Looking for confirmation, right? So there's multiple breaks of structure on the M1. In fact, your break of structure would have basically just been, yeah, right here. Nice break of structure. Confirmation pattern. And then you've actually got a few imbalances, banker blocks. You would have redefined the entry. I'm not going to get into too much detail. And you would have caught this trade here, basically, right? When you do redefine it and you combine all areas. So look, even if you just use this little bank level here, and oops, and then this banker block here, which hasn't really been filled. See that? You want to combine both areas. This would have been your entry. And then, you do it 50% from that new point of interest as a day trader, 2 pips below, which should be practically here, and then 2 pips above there, 3, 4, 5. There's your 5 pip stop. Not bad. I'm not sure if this would have taken you out. I don't know. But look, your stop's covered. Use trade management. And then obviously you're still having the same target, but it's just a little bit different when you're a day trader. It goes from having a 5R to now having a 17R, right? So this is how you see traders in the community catching 10R, 15R, 20R, right? This is just a nice little back test. So yeah, that would have been a great trade, to be fair. Nice. And still running. But yeah, that's as an example. Who would like to join the CTI community? Who would like to join the Discord? Type a 1 in the comments and type a 2 if you are already part of the CTI community Discord. Type a 3 if you don't give a damn. Honestly, I don't. It doesn't matter. Well, go on. No, come on, guys. Let's interact a little bit. Don't be shy. Man, crazy what the risk reward can do, right? From a swing perspective. And was it 5R? Yeah, 5R as a swing trade. If you just wait for confirmation on the day trade on the lower time frame, you're literally looking at around, was it 16R, wherever it was. Yeah, entry was around here. See that big difference? Obviously, when if you're a swing trader, it's because of personal circumstances, right? If you're working, you don't have time to be looking at the M1 time frame. You can still be a funded trader, right? You can still smash it. I mean, 5R in a space of, let me see, when was the entry? The entry you would have got triggered in basically Thursday, and then would have hit your take profit on Friday. So that's one day. That's just a day, 5R in a day for a swing trader. That's fantastic. And obviously 16R for the day trade. That's pretty decent. Acid Gamer, amazing. Glad you're in the community. Maria Gonzalez. The Discord community for CTI is free, right? So this is a CTI community. That's just completely free. You can just join. For this strategy and for the BLT community, it's £99. There's more information on the strategy and all the other strategies in CTI in this link. So I've just sent both links. Okay, I've got to run. I'm not gonna have time to cover any pairs, but I do have time to answer 1 or 2 questions. So just drop them in the comments and I'll happily cover them. No worry, Maria. Cool, fantastic. There we go. In the meantime, this is my Discord ID. If anyone's interested in mentoring, as in one-to-one mentoring, then you can just drop me a message on Discord. Regardless if you're a BLT trader or completely new to BLT, I can definitely help you out. So that's my Discord ID. In the meantime, I've got to run. Everyone have a good day, trade safe, and I'll see you on, if you're part of the CTI community, you can have 2 live streams a week. I'm actually doing another live stream at 5 p.m. UK time, and there's another Discord live stream at 12:30 on a Wednesday. So that's the benefits that you get from joining the CTI community. Not just that, there's access to different strategies from different mentors, and also obviously all the funding options, such as direct funding, challenges, etc. Since CTI are essentially a prop firm, but we also offer professional strategies that help traders get funded and become profitable, right? But there's 2 different companies. CTI Imperium's for the funding, and CTI Academy is for the strategies and mentorship. And that's one. Have a good day, everyone. Trade safe. Take care. Bye-bye.